Hello Pisces, welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 5 of Swords. Well, sometimes this card is about doubts, right? Sometimes this is a card that in our heads we've already lost before we've even tried. Okay? And it could be at the moment you're dealing with some pessimism about the future, right? The current cycle of readings has sort of become the 2025 forecast, right? And I wonder if right now you're not feeling all that hopeful for next year. For this coming year, 2025, may just seem like I'm kind of, I'm already feeling like it's a failure, already feeling like it's a loss, already feeling like it's going to be more of the same, if not worse, And sometimes that is the right way to look at it. Sometimes we just need to say, yeah, you know what? I have no expectations for next year. It's probably going to be just as bad as this year was. It may just, if I resign myself to that now, maybe it won't hurt so bad, right? These are some negative thoughts, right? This is really a kind of a harmful internal dialogue, right? We may think that we're preparing ourselves for what could be a difficult year, but what if this is sort of setting up a self-fulfilling prophecy? What if we try to turn this card around, put Spirit back on top, let Spirit take the wheel and just say, I'm ready for whatever comes. I have very high hopes, but I have low expectations, hoping for the best, expecting the worst, basically. Letting Spirit bring me wherever I need to go in this coming year. Whatever is outside of my control, I'm not going to worry about it. This is a lot of stress. So this is, in some ways, we're trying to lessen our mental stress by giving up the concern for anything that we cannot control. If you can't do anything about it, why are you stressed out about it? Let's let it go. Let's do what we can do. Let's control the things that we can control. Let Spirit take care of the rest. Okay? That at least calms us down a little bit, I think. Let's put this card into some context. Let's see what else is going on. All right? Let's see what is in the forecast for you this year. Well, 10 of Pentacles. That's very hopeful. That's very high hopes, right? Wealth, success, prosperity. This is your best life, right? So, if we're expecting this year to be bad, it will be, okay? But if we say, hey, you know what? I'm going to make this year the best year of my life. I'm going to make this the most successful, the most profitable year ever in the history of my life. Okay? Well, then we're turning this negative dialogue, we're turning it into at least some positive kind of hopeful statements, I'm successful. I'm creative. It's going to work. It's working. Here we go. We're letting Spirit take the wheel on a lot of this. We're putting our faith and hope and trust into the universe that it's going to be a good year, right? Well, we need a little bit more than that too. We need to take action. There's the Justice card. There's a, 9 of Swords. Makes sense. 7 of Pentacles. But the Ace of Cups. Look at that. See, we're expecting bad. We're expecting failure. We're expecting pain and sorrow and suffering. Maybe because that's what we're used to, right? If this past year wasn't all that great, what makes us think that this year's going to be any better? So then we're stuck in this loop, really, of all of this right here. And this is the way we're judging We're judging the coming year. It hasn't happened yet, but we're judging it anyway. We're judging it negatively. It's going to be bad. It was bad before. It'll be bad again. Bad, bad, bad. Terrible, terrible, terrible. That's how we're judging it, right? But Spirit's saying, hey, you know what? Let's change our perspective. Let's have a little bit of hope. Let's put a little bit of trust and faith in ourselves and in the universe. And maybe this year is going to be the best year of your life. Okay? 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. Let's judge our year as successful. Let's believe, right, that 2025 is the best year of your life. And we have this picture of the best year ever, right? The most success, the most prosperity, the most profitable, health is returning, your wealth is returning, everything's good, right? Everything's getting better and better and better, the best year on record. Let's believe that it's already there. It's already happened. It's already written in stone. All we've got to do now is walk toward it, is do the work to get there. All we have to do now is travel in that direction. If we're already expecting it instead to be failure, then that's what we're going to get. And this is what we're going to create. Because see, what you hold in your mind is what you will eventually hold in your hand. You see, if you think it, your body's kind of going to create it. The world around you, the material world, is going to produce that. It's kind of like the body's at the potter's wheel, working with the material world, right? And whatever the mind's been thinking about, the body's going to create it and say, oh, here you go. And we think, what? I didn't want this. Why do I have this? And well, obviously the body is like, well, this is what you've been thinking about all day. I thought this is what you wanted. 7 of Pentacles, failure, right? If we have positive affirmations and we keep telling ourselves about the success, about the hopes, about the dreams, about how it's all coming true, and we're getting there, and we're starting to feel that it's real, you know, we're believing in it, the body, the universe, the material world is going to make it happen. It's going to be at the potter's wheel. Here you go. And we're going to say, thank you. Yes, that's what I wanted. The body will create whatever the mind is thinking about, because that's the wish. Whatever you're constantly saying to yourself, that's what will manifest. Okay? So law of attraction, law of manifestation. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay, path of the serpent here. 7 of Cups. 4 of Swords. The Hermit. And the 3. You got a lot of challenging cards here. I feel like you've been in a difficult spot in your life. Okay? Difficult spot in your life. And anybody with these cards, not really, not too hopeful for the future, right? Can't expect you to be. I don't blame you, right? It was a rough year. This year, looking like it's not going to be any better, right? But we have to believe that it will be. We need positive affirmations. We're going to do language of flowers, affirmation card. We have to believe that it will be. Life is nothing but a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay? Desire. Be certain of where you place your passion. Because if you are passionately and enthusiastically certain that this is going to be a terrible year, guess what? That desire will be fulfilled. So it's very important that we realize the power of our own thoughts. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We'll set it right here with Clark W. Griswold III. We're not going to look at that card until the end, but it will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. Even if you think it's going to be something bad, go ahead, put something down there. Okay. Let's take a look around the room. Major Arcana. Well, you got 2 of them. You got the Justice card, fairness, the balance, the evaluation, the judgment, and you've got the Hermit. Okay. The The hermit is in the position of what you don't want. And I think right now what we don't want is to completely disengage with life. Okay? What we need from the hermit is introspection. We need to shine a little bit of light on what we've been doing with our minds. Okay? We have no fire here. We've got water in the future, the Ace of Cups. That's a real wish. That's a real hope and dream for the future. You've got the Seven of Cups as your general energy. And I think it was the ancient Greeks that said that they were the supreme optimists, right? Excuse me. I'm hungry. They were the supreme optimists because they didn't believe that life could get any worse. Things couldn't get any worse than they are now. The only way we have to go is up. So they were very hopeful every day of their lives, saying, today's going to be the best day of the world. Today's going to be the best day in the history of my life. It has to be. It has to be better than yesterday, right? And then that sort of motivates us in that unconscious level to sit at the potter's wheel and create that. Create a day that's better than the last, a year that's better than last year. Okay? So I think that it's important that we realize, okay, the Seven of Cups, things aren't good. Let's make them better. Let's control the things that we can control to make life better. This year is going to be a good year. The mind is a very powerful thing. Okay? So you have no fire, you got your water. You got air, 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 air. A lot of air energy, and of course, a little bit of earth. And with the earth energy, it's either success or failure. With the water energy, it's either good or toxic. It's either delicious, beautiful, nourishing, refreshing spring water, or it's toxic poison, right? And it's the mind that is going to determine which one of those you have. The mind is very powerful. Okay? And you need to set your intentions now of what kind of year you're going to have. I think you have to have the introspection of the hermit in order to understand what you've been thinking about, how you've been perceiving the world. Make the conscious choice to put spirit back on top. Let spirit take the wheel. Okay? Now, the Justice card kind of shows an either or, right? We're either judging the world to be a failure and to be toxic, a toxic fail. I mean, 7 and 7 here, just bad. Or we can judge the world, we can judge this year, this coming year as being a success, as being joyful, as being, the 10 of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups, that's a really good year. That's the best it could possibly be. That's the best we could ask for. That is the perfect year, an extraordinary year. And it's up to us. Which one are we choosing to believe in? Which one are we choosing to manifest and to create with our thoughts? Thoughts become feelings, feelings become actions, actions become reality. It works its way back up, and then we feel something, and then we think it, we believe it, and then it goes back down. It's sort of it's self-fulfilling prophecy, but it's also a feedback loop. Think about something long and hard enough, and you'll have it. Okay? But you got to be careful in the way you think about it, the words you use. You're thinking about success and joy, but you're thinking, I'll never have it. Well, no, then you'll never have it. Okay? You think about, I think it was Robert Anton Wilson in his book Prometheus Rising, talked about this simple exercise where you think about a quarter as often as you can. Think about everywhere you're looking for the quarter. Every moment that you can, you're looking to see if there's a quarter somewhere, everywhere. Or whatever money you have where you live. The idea there is that you're going to start seeing quarters. You're going to start finding quarters everywhere. Okay? And it shows the power of our thoughts, the power of our thinking, our wishing, the power of our desire. And we don't want to confuse our unconscious by thinking about those things that we don't desire. Because for all intents and purposes, the subconscious, the unconscious is going to think that's what we want. That's what we're wishing for. Let's wish for the right things. Let's wish for this to be the best year of our lives, right? Underneath the surface is the adjustment card. I feel like you haven't been treated fairly in life. There's a lot of things that I feel you've gone through that, you didn't deserve, right? A lot of pain, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of difficulties, maybe health, maybe financially, maybe in terms of relationships, maybe family stuff. A lot of things that you really didn't want to go through, right? So with this card, it feels like life's treated you unfairly. Yeah. And of course, that then is sort of confirmed by the Nine of Swords. These two together, it's saying, well, if the past was the Nine of Swords, which was pain and cruelty and suffering, despair, if this was really a harsh existence, a lot of, it goes beyond stress, right? Then we're sort of saying, okay, then I'm sort of expecting more of the same. There's no reason to believe that anything will change, right? But we have to take a lesson from the ancient Greeks, and we have to say, okay, well, that was bad. Let's make sure that every day is a little bit less of this and a little bit more of this. Because the Nine of Swords in the past is really a history of despair and pain and suffering and all those things, right? We have a hard time letting go of that. We have a hard time kind of processing that, coming to terms with it, accepting it or letting go or moving on from that. It's not easy to do any of those things. Sometimes we have to simply make the choice. We have to simply decide that things are going to be better. That doesn't instantly make them so. But we have to be aware of how we're talking to ourselves. Because if this was our experience, well, this is Swords cards. This is an experience in your life that then has sort of influenced the way you think about yourself. And that comes back to that hermit. We need that introspection. We've got to be able to look and to listen. Listen to the way you talk to yourself. You wouldn't talk to your best friend that way, right? Don't talk to yourself that way. We have to use positive language. We have to use affirming ideas, phrases, concepts. The Seven of Pentacles, of course, at the top, it feels like that's the black cloud. It feels like it's just going to be more of this, either, injuries, illnesses, financial difficulties, worries. It's going to be just that kind of another bad year, right? Looking at our Five of Swords in relation to that, we have to accept that, all right? If this was, let's say, this is what you're used to. This was last year, right, or 2024. We have to say, okay, it is what it is. Let's put that behind us as well. Let's let that, instead of being a black cloud that's covering your entire life in the present moment, let's put that back in the past too. Let's start this year with a kind of a clean slate. Okay? And let's also recognize that a lot of what happened here and here are not your fault. A lot of what happened is not your responsibility. There wasn't anything that you could have done differently to prevent this. Okay? We're not trying to blame other people. We're not trying to blame ourselves either. It's kind of like with the Justice card here. There's no need to assign blame. It's kind of like it is what it is. There were a lot of factors. You did the best you could. Let's be done with it. Let's make this year a better year. Let's make today a better day. Right? We can put this in any context. It could be a year. It could be just this moment. Let's make right now a better moment than 5 minutes ago. It comes down to that choice and our ability to acknowledge the power of our thoughts and do what we can to direct those thoughts in a positive way toward the life we want. And that's what we've got here with the 5 and the 10. The 5 is directing those positive thoughts. See, when the card is this way, see, it's upside down now, but I like to think it's right side up. This is using our mental power in a positive way. When it's down this way, when the point is down, this is using our thoughts in a negative way. We're defeating ourselves. We're attacking ourselves. We're pushing ourselves down. This way, we're lifting ourselves up. This is positive versus negative, right? And the 10 of Pentacles, of course, is that best year ever. The best life, right? Ace of Cups in the future position. The year hasn't happened yet, you know? The potential of this 2025, this new year, is still in seed form. Plant the right seeds right now if you want that prosperity, that wealth, that best life. You're planting kind of rotten, negative seeds, that's going to be the life that you grow. So right now, this is the time to set our intentions. This is the time to get our thoughts in order to make this year the best that it can be. It hasn't happened yet. Plant the right seeds. Okay? And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything, but it really does support me, and I appreciate that. The 7 of Cups. Okay? This is the feeling, this is a sickening, toxic feeling. It feels like we're ill. Maybe you've been dealing with some health stuff. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, obviously. But I feel as if whatever is going on in your life, the way that this last year has been, it's affected your health. It's affected your well-being, both physically and mentally and emotionally. And that's what we've got. We've got emotionally, mentally, physically afflicted. Right? Look at those. Okay? What we can do right now, instead of expecting more of the same, we can choose to plant the seeds of health and wealth. See, the 10 of Pentacles is not just money. It's not just related to the physical environment or the health or the wealth. It's about wholeness. It's about a return to a more ideal condition, a state of health, both physically, emotionally, and mentally. Okay? And we've got to let Spirit take the wheel. We've got to put Spirit back on top. We've got to trust. We plant the seeds of that now. And that's what we will attract more of. That's what we will work toward this year. Okay? This is real affliction. And look, we got that 4 of Swords in the position of the environment. Anytime we get a 5, right, we start looking for the 4. So this shows me that there's less stress, that we're because stress, I mean, one thing, stress is not helping any of these afflictions, right? Stress is not helping any of them. So the first thing we do is we try to calm down. We try to plant the seeds of hope. We try to plant very positive wishes, set our positive intentions for the year, and we try to relax. We try to let go of all of those stressors that we cannot do anything about. We can't change certain things about the world, so let's not worry about them. Let's not let them defeat us or afflict us in this way. Right? And sometimes that's like, we're watching the news, and I've got people like this in my life, that they watch the news, and there are things happening around the world, and they get torn up about it. And it affects their health. It affects their mental and physical and emotional health. And it really afflicts them, right? But they can do nothing about it. They don't have the means to mobilize or to take up a social issue or something. And it hurts them and hurts them and hurts. And yet they keep watching the same stories over and over and over again. That's what we get with the 3 of Swords at the end, by the way, that repetition. So sometimes we just have to turn it off. For the sake of our own health, we want this year to be better. Okay, let's get rid of everything that's not helping. Thoughts, words, and deeds. Let's get rid of everything that's not helping us feel better and have a better day, a better year. Okay? We're planting the seeds of hope, of prosperity, of love, of joy. We need to get rid of any of those. We need to dig up all those other seeds of misery, of pain, of toxicity, of illness, of affliction. And it's not easy. It's not guaranteed. But what choice do we have? What's the alternative? We guarantee a pretty shitty year. Otherwise, right? Or we plant these seeds of hope, of love, of joy, of beauty, and put a little bit of faith in it, put a little bit of trust in the universe. We'll see what we get. The choice seems obvious to me, but it's not easy. The Four of Swords here in the position of your environment, you got to get rid of those things in your environment that are just sort of torturing you, that aren't contributing to your health or your well-being or your positive attitude. You got to surround yourself with things that are going to inspire you, that are going to keep you in the right frame of mind. It's all about how we talk to ourselves. Okay? And the Hermit, I think, is very important in this position because the Hermit is that introspective card. Now, we don't want to isolate ourselves from the world, and that's why we don't want the Hermit, because we're not trying to just wallow in our affliction and in our despair. We're not trying to isolate ourselves. We need people. We need support. We need love. We need to engage with the world around us in a positive way, with supportive people. We also need a little bit of the Hermit because it's the introspection. We got to let Spirit shine a light on our thoughts, how we've been treating ourselves, how we've been talking to ourselves. Sometimes we can keep a little tape recorder or have an app on your phone where you can record your voice. And any time that you start getting down on yourself, or you start saying mean things to yourself, or even thinking mean things to yourself, turn on your recorder or your app or something and speak those words out loud. How you would normally talk to yourself, right? And listen back to that. And you wouldn't put up with somebody talking to you that way. You certainly wouldn't talk to your best friend that way. So why do you talk to yourself that way? Now we start thinking and we start talking to ourselves as we would our best friend. And sometimes that helps us to get rid of some of this mental chatter, get rid of some of this negative self-talk. Pretend that you are your own best friend. And how would you talk to that best friend? Okay? But we need the introspection. We have to shine a light on it so that we can know. We have to be able to see it for ourselves. You're not going to listen to me telling you. You got to see it for yourself. The Three of Swords here at the end, this is the repetition. This is kind of like thoughts in motion stay in motion, right? It's hard to get out of that loop of thinking the same way about ourselves and getting into that cycle. This really is like a memory. This is like a continued affliction, right? Where we just keep reliving the same things and thinking about the same things. And we keep hurting ourselves over and over and over again. This is somebody that, again, they watch the same terrible news stories over and over and over again. Just sitting there in their living room, they can't do anything about it. All they can do really is turn off the TV or put on a more inspiring YouTube channel, wink, wink, for some positive energy. But you gotta get rid of that negative stuff too. Okay? And it seems absurd when we think about it that way. Why would we keep programming ourselves with all that negativity? Let's program ourselves with positivity. Let's plant the seeds of the best year of our life. That's powerful. You will be surprised. I want you to come back a year from now. Tell me how it works for you. Okay? I almost guarantee it. Let's look at our mystery card here. I want to see, let's see, we got our 10 of Pentacles here, right? I want to see a 10 of Cups. I want to see that it's not that that's real, that you're feeling it. Okay, that'll be the confirmation. Any kind of good water energy. 3, 6, 9, 10 of Cups is what I want, because that to me is health. That's love. That's beauty. That's joy. That's happiness and excitement. That this really is going to be the best, and that's a positive attitude, right? I don't think I want any more Swords cards, but if you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah. Look at that. 10 of Cups. This is going to be the best year of your life. This is very powerful energy you're dealing with here. Your thoughts, more powerful than you know. This is a life that we are grateful for. This is a life of love, happiness, fulfillment. You got your pets, your plants, your people. This is the best that we would ever dream of. This is a dream come true. This is the Ace of Cups now fully fulfilled. Those seeds of love that you're planting, look, fully grown, right? This is going to be a really good year. Really, really good year. We're going to do an extended reading too. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Pisces Thursdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.